All right,
We
so
almost tripped it.
cheers.
Cheers.
We're back on another episode of Sipping and Vibing. We got a special guest once again, Chris, Sandy,
Sandra. And we got
Josiah.
Josiah. So Josiah, tell us a little bit about yourself, and thank you for coming. Obviously,
yeah, thank you for being our first video guest.
You know what I'm saying? My pleasure. I'm a little nervous. It's my first time. But my name is Josiah. I'm a trans man. I came to try to inform y'all a little bit about the trans community and make
Perfect time.
Yeah, literally.
Perfect time. We were just talking about this. Perfect time.
Literally the perfect time. So I just want to, I guess, give some knowledge, put information out there, because I feel like people in the trans community are held under like a microscope. Like we're all trying to feed some type of agenda. I don't have any agenda that I want to.
I think what's making it difficult now is also the whole pronoun thing.
Oh,
which is making it so much.
That's how it started. I feel.
Yeah, that's exactly how.
I think it's making it harder for you guys, for the transgender community because of the pronouns. I think if we remove that, I think you guys wouldn't have that much of an issue. To be honest with you,
there's a lot of different pronouns that people go by, right? So you have cisgender people who go by their gender that they're born, she, him. So you, him, and then you for you, she.
Yeah.
Right? And then for me, he, even though I was born woman.
Yeah.
But then you also have they and them. And I'm going to tread lightly. Yes. I'm going to tread lightly on this because people freak out when I say this because they get very defensive.
Right.
But realistically, if you think about it, there's always going to be confusion with that. Even with trans people, I expect sometimes even confusion with me. And if people are confused, that's okay. It's okay for people to ask questions and be confused. But
to me, it's definitely is just a language thing. We went to school for so many things. They is a plural. It's plural.
It's very hard for me to understand,
it's very
See, so it's not just it's not coming from something
disrespect. It's not trying to be disrespectful.
And I've told people that even myself, listen, I don't mean no disrespect, but I don't even know how to address you because I don't know how to properly use they them pronouns.
Right.
I don't.
At this point, it's what's your name?
Right. Because I keep all the disrespect. What is your name?
Does it bother you when somebody like Sandra? Sandra, you knew him before. Before you transitioned.
Yeah,
so does it bother you if somebody still refers to you as?
I do want to talk about this first because can I say your name?
Of course, yeah.
Okay, so I met him as Brittany, and the thing is that me, when I'm friends with someone, I don't say names, and I used to always say "Hey girl."
Yeah.
I used to always say "Hey girl" for everything, and so when the transition, that was a little hard for me. But like I said, I'd rather just do Josiah, and it's easier for me. Because imagine, we worked together and we used to be
we were so close and we were so excited.
Yeah, we were so excited to see each other because we hated where we worked. So we used to meet in this gazebo.
Remember the one year we had running?
Yeah, we used to run to each other thank God you exist, because everybody else, it was like a fucking robotic, weird place. It was HR. It was like a Twilight Zone. You know how I am. I'm HR, but
where was this? I need after we turn off the cameras, we need to figure out where this was at.
I got you with the name.
You got let me know.
So this gazebo the place was beautiful, but everybody was robotic and weird. I'm I met someone real. So we will meet up at the gazebo, but I'll go hey girl, so it was a little hard in the begining. That's the only thing.
I feel like you did good though.
You think so? Okay.
But with my friends though, in the beginning of my transition, I didn't I understood, right? I'm the type of person to put myself in other people's shoes. So if you've known me for so long and you've been calling me by she, her pronouns, Brittany,
right?
Obviously, it's going to take a second to break that because it's breaking any type of habit.
To me, in my personal opinion, it's it's not that. It's just because maybe we shared something.
Oh yeah,
and to me, it's that back then it was she.
That's what I'm telling you.
And that's probably what it was for me.
And even now, when people refer to older stories with me in it, they're she, no offense. I'm not mad because at the time that's how I identify. So for me to be don't call me that. That's delusional because that's a memory that you and I share.
It's a moment. It's a moment. I can definitely
So for me to be
it's cool that we could talk about this because I never told you this before.
Oh yeah.
I used to just be hey girl, and I was so excited. So it was the only kind of hard part for me. But it didn't make me feel no type of way like, oh, I miss that. No, like I'm happy for him, and like.
I mean, that's the best thing you can wish for. I mean, it's just happiness for the other person. It doesn't matter what they're going through.
Right.
I mean, or what how they feel.
But there, I will say I understand where she comes from there, because like there's some people that I've known from like younger, and they told me like when I started my transition, like, oh, I feel like I'm grieving you.
Right.
And I'm like, I would tell people like, I don't think you understand how this I'm still me.
Right.
Like I'm still that person. My looks are going to change. My voice might change.
Right.
What it is going to change, and my pronouns and my name I'm changing, but me as a person, you're still interacting with the same people, and I think
your character hasn't changed.
Yeah,
right.
like, that's not what's
still
changing.
have fun, like regardless.
And I think that's the issue of like masculinity and being effeminate.
Oh,
it's like we categorize them by gender roles, and I think that's the issue. Like it doesn't, only a man is like, the breadwinner and can do this, which is
and
completely.
they're trying to bring it back.
They're trying to do that.
Right?
It's the standards, but those are more gender roles. Rather, it doesn't make you less or more masculine, or it doesn't make you more feminine, or I think that's where we're getting confused. I think a man to me is more of a genetic wise, but to me, however you feel. However you feel is how you feel. Like, to be honest with you, honest with you,
And I started respecting him a lot because he was posting everything that was going on in his story. He would be like, "Stop calling me Brittany, please. I'm asking out of respect." And I can't believe. And this is the thing. We're doing this episode, and we're not trying to convince anybody of anything.
Right.
We're just trying to be open about a topic that is out there.
Yeah.
And
especially right now.
Yeah, especially right
like
now.
it's perfect timing. Perfect timing. Like this could not have worked out. And that's something that I actually talked about. That I actually talked about in the last podcast. That I said I'm actually with a lot of the things that he's saying, but he's coming way too strong. Like one of the things.
Like everything.
Yeah, like one time, then you can't do this.
No, it's like transgender rules. And Mexicans out. It's only one group in the beginning. Like
one at a time. Can we work on it?
Can we not kick everybody out in Florida at the same time?
Is there gonna be any transgender or Mexican? Wait, but hold on. What I was saying before, it was like, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, it's a good platform to like talk about it, because I can't believe that somebody's disrespectful if you're asking to stop calling you Brittany and they still do it. To me, I don't understand that, because you don't have to agree with anything, but that's just respect. That's it. And I really like don't like disrespectful things like that. It's like, I don't know.
It's honestly like the same thing, right? Like if you take your hand in marriage, your last name automatically changes, and that's something that I use as an example for people, because I'm like, people can accustom to when people get married, or even people change their names on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah,
like,
true.
And not even just for a transition, they just don't want to have that name. They want a new name. You guys can accustom it to that name change or to that last name change. Like, oh, you're now Mr. Smith, or now you're Miss Smith because you married Mr. Smith.
Yeah.
You can accustom to that. But when somebody asks you to accustom to their name change, and because it falls under the transgender category, it's all of a sudden it's
what's your name again?
Yeah. Like what? Like, and it's very weird, because like when people don't know I'm trans, it's automatically he, him pronouns, Josiah, no problem.
Yeah.
Swear to God, it's the second they find out I'm trans, it's he, she, he, she, he, and I'm like.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And it's funny because like most people that meet me now, they, even like strangers, they address me as a man, right? But the second that even they find out I'm transgender, that's when the confusion comes in with pronouns, and that's when I don't respect it, because I'm like,
you just was okay.
Like you were perfectly fine just a second ago.
All of a sudden.
Yeah, like all of a sudden you're like, she, he.
Do you feel like you have to address it all the time? Like,
oh no, I won't.
You won't.
Like, and that's what like something about me is that if you're genuinely my friend, I'll address it. But if you're a stranger, I'm not about to argue with you. Cool. Right. You want to call me a she? You don't believe in my transition?
No, but let's say let's say you meet a girl at the gym. Yeah. And you're friends for like, it's just a friend, not even a friend at that point, it's somebody you see at the gym. Do you feel like going there, or do you kind of like, I don't have to?
Oh, like letting them know?
Yeah.
No, like I will tell you if we're romantically involved. Like obviously my girlfriend knows, and she knew because she met me before my transition.
Okay.
But like hypothetically, let's say my girl didn't know and we started talking, I disclose that immediately. That's not something that I hide or try to hold from anyone, only because it's dangerous. Like, right? Like,
oh, I've heard, especially when,
fair.
Yeah, especially when it's a, like, because I've heard of situations where it's like it's a dude who meets to a she, and they find out like, oh, there's something extra down there, and it could be bad.
It turns out,
it could be bad for.
I don't really believe in that, because I feel like at the end of the day, trans people are different from cisgendered people, right? Yes, we want to be that sex, but a lot of people won't be honest and just admit the difference between you and me right now, right? Is I'm a trans man, right? I identify as a man, but I also lived 29 years of my life as a woman. That's the difference between you and I. So it's like, and then also, you know, you got the bottom part, I don't got the bottom part, and you don't got the top part. You get what I mean? Our levels are the same, but that's what makes us different. And that's where I think people want to be all hung on, oh, I'm a man. Yeah, but you're a trans man. And that's what makes you different. And I'm quick to identify that, because there's a big difference. Like if I were to meet a woman out in the bar, she's obviously most likely going to think I'm a man, right?
Right.
Hypothetically, if we go home and we hook up,
she gonna find out.
Yeah, she gonna find out. She gonna find out quick. Before me and my girl got together, I was very confused on who I was supposed to be hitting on. Because I know, bro, I swear to God, because lesbians, they like studs, but studs are only masculine to a certain extent because they have that femininity. Like, you know what I mean? They don't get the facial hair, the body structure is still women. But when you have a trans man, my whole body structure literally changed with my transition. Like, I went from being petite and skinny like a woman's body to now being filled out, and my muscles.
You lift up? Nah, you lift up?
Oh yeah, that's at the gym every day at the gym now.
That too, like that's where I feel like a lot of people don't understand. There's a big difference. There's a huge difference. So when it comes down to hitting on, like, who you're supposed to be hitting on, in the beginning of my transition, I'm like, do I hit on the straight girls? Do I hit on the lesbians? Like, because lesbians don't really want much to do with you, because they like studs. Because studs are masculine to a certain extent. Studs that can't grow facial hair.
Right.
Studs, the bottom growth, like the bottom's not as much different. They're not as masculine. Yes, they play that role, but trans man compared to a stud is two different things.
So wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, so then you
have a lot to think about.
So much. And then when you go to hit on the straight girls, they're like, well, you're a trans man. You don't got the thing down there. So.
And that's what I want.
Yeah. So what am I supposed to do with you? So it got to the point. Well, I feel like extremely.
You were single for a while, right?
Yeah, very long.
He was single for a while, and like
my ex left me because I was trans.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, okay. So I was with my ex. I probably shouldn't talk about this, but I was with my ex. Remember, you met her at the place.
This was before, or
okay, so she left you.
Yeah, because when she got with me, what very ironic about the situation is when I was with my ex, I was the first girl she even ever dated before my transition, right? When her and I had a brief time when we broke up, she dated men. Okay, so remember that part of the story. So keep that part, please, in your head. So when I came out as trans and I let her know, she was one of the first people to let her know. She didn't really receive the information as I expected. She didn't like it at all, actually. She was more so like against it, and she's like, I don't want to be with a man. If I wanted to be with a man, I would just go be with a man. And we ended up breaking up because of my transition. She didn't want to be with a man. Really, after we broke up, she was with men. So it really did. Yeah, it didn't make sense. And then as I transitioned, like, she's like, oh, you're so sexy, like, I want you. And it's like, it changed, right? Right. It's like the perspective, it changed. It's like, my point in the matter is that she was a lesbian. I was with her as a lesbian. As soon as I wanted to transition, it was, oh, you're a man, I don't want to be with you. Which didn't really make sense because she dated me anyway. But it was like...
She still hit you up?
She did recently, yeah.
She had?
Yeah. It's just like...
You said you sent her the voicemail?
Oh yeah, all the way.
Always.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Never.
With the new name.
That was
this is Josiah.
So what brought you to that name? From Brittany to Josiah.
Okay, so I'll be honest. So I was fried on my couch and I was trying to think of a new name.
Yeah.
And Josiah peace literally came to mind. So Josiah means God is healed. I've been through like a lot in my life, and God is really the main reason why I'm actually still here. Like there's been times where I wanted to commit suicide, and I'm convinced that He has been the one to hide me and stop. It's some weird spiritual shit.
Right.
But I'm convinced He's the one that's stopped me. So one day I'm sitting on the couch and I'm fried, and it literally, I swear to God, bro, it
just came in.
Yeah, and I'm like, Josiah. And then when I looked it up and it said God has healed, I was like,
that's it.
That's me. You have healed me, sir. Yes,
sir.
Me.
And you're gonna keep going through stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then
peace is not an easy thing.
Oh, it's not, especially now with all the bills being passed.
Is there any regrets?
Oh, absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
No.
Because what I've heard is that it's in your mind, because it's like you're trapped and you're like, no, I have
How long has this been in your mind like that?
Oh, literally since I hit puberty. But I've hit it because the way I grew up is I was adopted, and I was adopted also by Catholic white people. So their views are very straight. Even when I came out as gay and I wasn't even living in the household, it was still like, you're what? Still not say that in front of the other children. That's a sin.
Well, wait. So when you are younger and having feelings, did you
express it?
No. Did you know? Okay, I'm gay, or I want to be a man. Do you know? Or that just kind of happens.
Well, if I must be very honest, growing up, I didn't really know what trans was. I was very.
I don't think anybody did. Since the last probably 5-10 years. Maybe?
Yeah. Wait, I have to say no. I knew what it was.
You did.
Yeah. I was talking to my friend about this last night. Because I told him that you were coming to my podcast. So I Am Jazz was really I was like, wow, this is crazy.
I watched one episode, but I didn't, to be honest, but this was one of the later ones. I didn't know she was transgender.
She was older, right?
Yeah. I didn't know she was transgender.
Yeah. She trans since she was very young.
Yeah,
and her family was very supportive.
And they're here in Florida.
Yeah,
they got a lot of scrutiny.
Like I said, I only
still get it.
I only watched one episode, and I don't know what was going. I don't even remember the episode, but I'm like, why did she get a show? And then I found out that's why she got a show. Okay.
She's the only trans person, if you really think about it, she's the only trans person that's on TV like that. Yeah, she's the only
that we know about.
Yeah. I want my own documentary. I ain't gonna lie. Because I would tell the whole truth. Well, one thing I don't like about this was something that I was contemplating on saying, because I probably will get a lot of backlash in the trans community. But when it comes to children, and before I say this, I'm going to emphasize the word that I say before people are like, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. When it comes to children medically, and when I say it again, medically transitioning, I don't think that should be a thing. Mm-hmm. I started transitioning at the age of 27, right? My brain is pretty much fully developed.
Yeah, right.
When I tell you, the month that I started my transition, I felt like somebody took an axe and split my brain in half. I lost my entire bonus at work. My mental health escalated from happy to sad to angry to suicide to my hormones were all over the place. All over. And that's the only reason why I would never sit here and pretend that would be a place for a child. Because if their brain isn't fully developed,
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's too much. It's gonna break them. And also, children go back on decisions they make all the time, and that's something that I learned with my girlfriend's son. I was always around kids growing up, but really being involved with a child has been recently. Yeah, with my girlfriend, and I noticed, I bring it up a lot to her. I'm like, do you notice how he just switched from saying he wanted to go do that, now he wants to do that? I was like, this is the same thing with kids who think they're transgender, and they see one little video I'm trans.
It's just what the hype is, unfortunately.
Exactly.
It's what the media is putting out there.
Exactly.
So that's all they're seeing.
Yes.
That's
so they think that's what they are.
Because they want to be accepted.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, that's what our society has come to. Mm-hmm. We just want to be accepted, be a part of a group, and just want to be like you fit
Literally,
into something.
exactly
like
what
you
you said,
fit
yeah.
in. Like you want to feel
not
like
get
you fit
made
in.
fun of. You
Exactly.
don't want to be the outcast.
And something that I was thinking on the way over here, because I remember like, hey, listen, like when we were growing up, this wasn't like me coming up. I'm 35 now. It wasn't something like like we used to throw. Oh man, you're gay, bro. Stop saying that. Like now, like that I'm older, it's more. Like, bro, don't say that.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was something that, I kind of grew up and like, they used to be picking on somebody who was gay, and I said, like, bro, chill the fuck out.
Calm
bro.
down,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, calm down. But now I think it's just becoming more accepting of the fact. And I think, and one thing that, what they call like the don't say gay or, which I'm kind of for it. I completely understand it because, like, it's, to see your kid probably being on, elementary school and from kindergarten to 5th grade.
They shouldn't be talking about.
They shouldn't be talking about that. They should exactly at that point.
I agree.
I think middle school.
They don't even know what the fuck they want to eat.
Exactly. Like they don't know. They don't know. And not only that, but me as a parent to.
Oh, absolutely. How many kids do you have?
I just one.
Oh, but I can even only imagine.
Yeah, but just as a parent, like having to. This was brought up at school, like, hey, I feel like I'm gay, like, how, like, to be honest with you, like, I wouldn't even know, like, do you know what that is?
Exactly, that's something that you feel on your own, it's not something that needs to be, because for me, I didn't know what the fuck was happening.
But that's one thing, like, I always said, like, if something was to come up and he was to ask me, like, hey, I feel like I'm gay, like, I would really go to one of my friends, like, hey, listen, like, I need advice, I need to know, like, how would you have.
But that's good parenting. You get what I'm saying? Because you're seeking those answers. You're not automatically.
It's like I'm not saying like no, you're not.
Yeah, like you say what?
What makes you feel that way?
Yeah.
Exactly. What makes you feel that way? Is it something you heard?
I grew up with my cousin and he's gay, and like the way we grew up is we never made him feel like
left out.
Yeah, left out. But it was a confusing time, and like humans just to ruin everything.
Yeah.
Because right now it's the perfect time for like, let's say your son was and he wants to just tell you. He is a perfect time to feel comfortable. But
I think you set that environment.
Yeah.
For your son to be comfortable, or your child.
And now it's a perfect time for a boy if he wants to come out. It's kind of better. But now we're doing too much with that. Now we're trying to push it. Like, are you gay? Are you gay?
Yeah. No.
Prime month. Like
like calm down. I agree.
And that's what I was kind of. We were talking before we hit record on this. It's definitely the media, because like, how do you feel about like Disney, like all these major corporations trying to incorporate? I think it's definitely
money
forced.
They want the money.
Yeah, exactly. But
they're
it's
like, we want the gays' money.
It's not only that, but I mean, all right, let's take this one for example, The Little Mermaid right now, where they switched it out. The Little Mermaid I grew up with was a little white girl with red hair. Now she's a little black girl with red hair.
I ain't gonna catch Halle Berry is hot as hell.
I'm not saying she's not. But here's the thing. Here's the other thing. Now, why do we have to change it? And my other thing is like now they're trying to make a black Superman. Like, listen, they're trying to make a black Superman, which I'm like, all right, listen, I have no issue with no issue with you creating a black superhero. I have no issue. But why ruin? Why change up? Just so you guys, why are we trying to change up the Superman that we grew up with, just so we can be more inclusive? Like, why can't we create a new superhero?
No, but check this out.
But that's
you're taking it personal because like we grew up with, but guess what? These kids that are growing up now and they're 8,
but they
get to see they get to see a black Little Mermaid.
That's what I'm saying. But that's all right. But I'm cool with it. But like. I'm not saying don't do it. Why to incorporate with something? Because now
why change it?
Why change it? Why not create something new? Why not create a brand new movie?
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's something new.
Are you trying to say that you feel like it's a little forced?
It is forced. That's what I'm trying to say. It's forced.
Like
now they're trying to capture. You're trying to capture that audience.
I felt a little bit like that. I'm not gonna lie, but my cousin. We grew up watching The Little Mermaid, and he came here last week, and he was like, "You want to watch The Little Mermaid?"
Like the new one?
The new one. I'm like, "Yo, that's a perfect plan."
Yeah.
We were doing the tape, like hitting it like 5 times.
Listen, I've never watched this, so I gotta watch this.
No, you're not watching Little Mermaid.
To be honest with you, like little.
Hide a cat.
Listen, bro. There's a couple movies that I never
watched.
watched.
The old Little Mermaid was hot, but the new one.
Oh, you like?
Very look good.
No, but let me tell you, Perfect Plan. We watched the movie, and you know what? I was like, yo, I like being part of this because guess what? They put a lot of culture in it, and it was kind of cool. Cause that's the thing. You're thinking of it. I think if you switched it a little bit. Not that I'm trying to change your mind, but
I said that.
But hold on. Lion King, animated movie, didn't change a single thing.
Oh, that's true. I mean, they are animals.
Aladdin. The only thing they changed was the genie to Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think maybe they did change it to be more inclusive?
But here's the thing, to be more inclusive. But here's the thing, they're trying to to me, I feel like they're trying to capture a certain audience right now.
Okay.
And they're forcing
keeping them happy. We want to keep you guys happy. Don't get mad at us.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
This is how we're doing it.
Like listen, they dance ballads or whatever, however you say it. They dance like the soft music in the cartoon movie. This one, it has like a tropical vibe. No, it's cool. Like it's like you're in Bahamas and like there's all types of culture. They probably
were in the Bahamas. You never pay attention to most of this stuff, so maybe they were in the Bahamas.
I think that
it was cool.
I think having both is good, just only for like the little girls growing up that aren't white to see, because there's not a lot of. If you look at the cartoons,
there isn't.
Yeah. So I can kind of see that. Like where they came from that and where like little girls and even little boys be excited because
I could have dreads and be like the mermaid.
Yeah, and I can be in the Little Mermaid.
Yeah, I don't have to have
and I've seen
hair.
Yes, and I've seen like posts where like little girls are running up to her and like admire. Honestly, but I could, if it's coming from innocence with a child, then I can understand. But maybe an adult's a little different because you know what you're doing. But a child, like, oh, I want to be like Halle Bailey. Like, okay, but cool, I understand.
It's definitely on the era because like I mean a lot of things that gets brought up is Tropic Thunder. With he did a whole blackface, and that's it was.
Oh, he did.
You did.
You need to
watch that movie. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, but it was not on no weird shit. Like you know what I mean? Like he was doing his. Like,
he was an actor. He was an actor.
Yeah.
Playing a movie where he was black, so he went blackface.
Yeah, but the only way that he could.
Yeah, but
he's not black.
Hilarious. Yeah, exactly.
What we're trying to say is that before we could just laugh at things and now everything's like
you're racist, you're homophobic,
you're transphobic. Even us doing these videos, like what you know.
Yeah, I'm even a little scared. I'm like, okay, everybody calm the fuck down.
We're just talking.
Yeah, like but I think a lot of things too is like people are so closed-minded and they don't take the time to allow other people to express themselves. We're not all the same. People have the same different thoughts. Some people think the same, on certain things, but there's always going to be differences. If you accept that other person, that person still accepts you. Why the fuck does it matter if y'all have two different?
When I was like thinking about that we were gonna do this podcast today, I was thinking like if someone like I know you, I see it differently. If every person knew someone that's going through these things, it would change their mind. But they like a lot of people like to judge or make fun because they don't know a person that's going through.
But people see me as sir.
Could be like a gay man, like because you sound like a gay man.
Yeah, people think that too. And I'm like, I'm not. No, I'm a straight man.
To be honest with you, if you would have told me that, I would have been like, okay.
Wait,
that's funny as a gay man I've gotten that from. Yeah, but also like that's something with my transition I'm a little insecure about. Is that my voice didn't drop how I wanted it to. And I don't know if it's because I went through like 27 years of womanhood, you know what I mean? So my voice, my voice was already originally very girly. You remember, like it was very like girly as fuck. So like when I started my transition, I'm like, yeah, drop, get deep. Like I'm trying to be deep. Like you know what I mean?
I think it has
baby girl.
Like this shit's dumb deep. Like I'm like, I want the dumb deep, and I don't got that. So for a minute, like people.
We belong together. Hey, everybody's gonna get a song every episode. We belong together. You know.
The last one, it was The Weeknd.
The Weeknd. Yeah. You get a song every episode, guys.
So if you would have done your transition younger, your voice would have dropped more?
I think so, maybe. Only because I didn't go through like the.
Do you wish you would have done it younger, or do you think you got it at a good stage?
Yeah. Okay. So when it comes with like some things that I wanted to change a little faster. I wish it was younger, but mentally, I don't wish it was younger.
Okay.
Only because mentally, this process is a lot. It's not like, I feel like when you go on TikTok and trans men are talking about their transition, and even me, I'm guilty. Like I have yet to make like a really big video on like just strictly talking about my mental health with my transition. I've added it into some videos, but I haven't really like only talked about my mental health in the video.
Mm-hmm. Where do you think you're at right now with your?
Oh, now I'm good. But like in the beginning, it was very hard for me. Like I work from home, so I was at my desk, and my moods would change so often that I would have to get up and start lifting weights because I'm like, I don't know what else to do. Like, I would be happy, then I'd be like this.
Really?
And then I'd be like, I want to kill myself.
What?
And I was like, I fucking hate my life. Like, it was crazy.
He just posts like, I'm not feeling really good right now. Today's a hard day. Like, he'll say it just to like, I guess.
It's because you're mental. And then also, I probably shouldn't say this, but whatever. I still get my period. Most trans men's periods stop because of the testosterone and their levels. I don't know why mine won't stop.
Can they give you birth control?
They tried, but my period came for 2 weeks.
What?
Girl, I was pissed. I was like, take this shit, fuck that.
I would be pissed.
I was so pissed, but that was the one thing that I was so excited to stop was my period, right?
Oh, that's so
like
do you ever fuck around with your girl? It's a good time to get.
That's a good time.
My poor girlfriend. No, I feel so bad for her because.
What if you both have your period?
That was literally less this week.
So, bloody massacre.
Literally, attitudes everywhere out the window.
Please don't bring out the weight.
But I feel bad because it's like my hormones don't know what to do when I'm on my period because it's like you got the testosterone in my body, then you got the estrogen, and like I'm bleeding everywhere. So like I feel like my body's like fighting itself inside. So like my hormones are like even more like.
Damn, I didn't even think about
it. It
that.
sucks. It's really bad. And then like I'm like, well, I have to use the men's bathroom. Men don't put tampons in or pads. Yeah. Like so like that would also like mentally fuck with me because I'm like that's not a manly thing to do.
So
just so I know.
This is a real question right here.
Some shit.
Which bathroom is cleaner? Men's bathroom or women's bathroom?
Women's. Bro, when I first went into the men, I was like, what the fuck is going on here?
What is this on the wall?
Yo, no, as soon as I went, I'm like, the first thing I started praying is, please don't see my boobs, don't see my boobs, because I haven't got my top surgery yet. So I'm like, men don't really pay attention to, I've noticed, like, other men coming in the bathroom, they don't give a fuck.
Oh,
like,
you go to the, but you can't.
No, I can't. Like, what am I going to do? Like, scratch my lips?
Sorry.
The fuck is that? Hey, listen, there's a rule. If there's one man in this stall, there's a stall right here, you use the one after. You don't go to the one, you don't be like, what you working with over there? This is not right.
Even when I go to the bathroom, because like, you know, like men, when they pee, it goes this way. When women pee, it goes this way. So when I'm peeing, I'm like, please don't look under the stall, please don't look under the stall, please don't. I'm taking a shit. Because I'm not going to stand it.
You got to take a whoopee cushion.
Yeah. You better fuck along with it.
There are men that sit down to pee.
Yeah, that's true, but it's more so in my head.
I have to, because my wife
like
my wife be like, damn dog, you don't know how to aim? But it's hard.
It's hard.
Listen, he sits down because he has a bidet and he likes the water to his eyes.
I love it.
You have the viewers so we can have a little bit more order. Okay,
yeah.
So since you were little, you felt this way.
Yes.
You were but you were in foster.
But I always kept it a secret because I was scared.
Anybody.
No, I would joke about it, like to my friends, like, oh, well, I should start transitioning because I feel like a man. But I would always be scared because I would be like, what the hell are people gonna think of me? Mm-hmm. Right? They would call me her, and she, and Brittany my whole life, and now I'm like.
That sucks.
It's not how I feel.
Think about everybody but you.
Yeah.
So how are you with your family right now, though? Like,
well, I was adopted, and
I
was already not close with my adopted family as a teen. And then like even my biological family, I wasn't really close to either.
So. Oh, so you do know your biological family? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, I knew them at 18.
Okay.
But I don't give a fuck what any of them say, and that's what makes me different from a lot of trans men too. Is a lot of people will hold back their transition because of what their parents and family say.
I think it's just everybody in general.
Yeah, even like just like any topic in general, right? You're scared to disappoint your parents. You don't want them to judge you and stuff like that. with me, like sometimes I have to be a little bit more empathetic when trans men hit me up for advice because I'm like, well, fuck them, fuck that. Like, why do you care what your parents say? But then I have to remember, your parents are probably in your life. My parents weren't.
Yeah, it's definitely something in general because this one right over here is always like, I don't know what to do. Bro,
yeah, like it's
what they say.
Yeah, I feel like it's like how you were raised. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So like I try to do my best.
That's what people say.
Now that I think about it, when you said your friends are grieving, like I don't know, I feel like friends, because you know, friends are like not that important to be honest, because it's like you grow apart, or maybe if you have.
I had a friend that literally sent me a whole book, like telling me like, look, I support your transition, but I feel like I'm grieving. Like
here's the Bible.
Here, like I feel like I'm grieving you. Grieving you as
something
a person.
Like your mother would say.
And I'm like, I'm still the same person. Like, my voice might change a little bit, my looks are gonna change, but
it doesn't change
I am me.
Who you are.
Yes,
yeah.
and that's
like you said earlier, it changes
but
your
as
physical
aspect. As a
but
parent, you can see a little bit like how it would be a little bit hard.
Oh, I didn't even care about my parents though, because my parents didn't even care about me as a girl. So like me transitioning as a boy.
Because I don't think.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck you, I don't care. Like, say whatever.
I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, what was your favorite color when you were a girl?
Orange.
What's your favorite color now?
Baby blue.
Now it changed?
Yeah, it changed. Yeah.
Are you serious?
No, and that's what I say too. Like that's why I say like with kids, that should not be a
changes.
thing.
Yeah, it definitely changes.
But your mindset changes.
It changes.
Your mindset changes. You get what I'm saying? Your mindset literally.
Wait,
like
your mind changes to the way you view things now?
Yeah, of course. Like even as a people are like, oh, you used to be a woman. Give me advice as a woman. I'm like, my mind doesn't. It doesn't think like that. Like
anymore.
Before I
would you say anymore?
Or? Yeah, like doesn't think like that anymore. Like
because you used to be more emotional.
Yes.
And now you're not.
I'm not. I don't give a fuck.
I need some.
No, but the thing is,
can we get some of that rubbing alcohol?
Even with like the sex,
rub.
I started to understand because like before my transition, I'm like, why do men can't control their sex drive? Like, you just stick your dick in everything.
Like you go,
bro,
every single day.
I know now because a lot of people don't understand. Like with trans men, your clit grows out with testosterone. So like as you transition, it gets a little bigger. I mean, it stops, but like
it more sensitive.
Yeah, when I tell you,
you put pants on, you're like,
no, literally, like no. Like I'm about to tell you a story where I was literally looking at shampoo and my fucking shit rubbed one wrong way on my boxers, and it was like ding ding. And I thought at first, like when it was happening before that, I was like delusional. I'm like, what the hell's happening? Like. Because before, like, my sex drive, I didn't have no problem. I didn't have no random, like, I just want to. None of that, right?
That's a guy's problem every single day. Like,
bro, and I used to question men. Like, why can't you just keep your dick in your fucking pants? Like, I don't get it.
Listen to this, ladies!
There was probably 6 times it happened to me before this situation. I'm like, I'm thinking it's me in my head, like, okay, you're doing too much. Like, it's you, you're being dramatic. I'm in Walmart one day, literally looking at shampoo. I moved one wrong way and my shit went on my boxers, and it was like ding, 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 and all my brain could think about was sex. Like that's it. And I'm like, this is not happened to me before. This is like the third time it's happened. What is going on? And I've never had to talk to my bottom part of me so much in my life until I started. Until I started like putting on testosterone. I swear to God.
We are in Walmart.
That was literally me, nigga. I'm like.
No, he would tell me because he was single for a while and like not really doing anything.
Yeah.
And he would tell me like, yo, it's so hard because I want to be a hoe a little bit, but I can't, and like, but I want to, and it was just like, oh man,
it was a lot. It was a lot for me to like.
Can your girl handle you now?
Oh yeah, she can. I can't handle her. She make me tap out. Like I'm not. Shit. What? This might be a little too mad, but I'm not faster now than I did before.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I'm like,
So you are a man then?
Yeah, it's crazy. The difference is crazy as fuck. Well, I would go say
welcome to manhood. Good job. You made it.
But it's like, bro, it was so hard for me, like.
By the way, 5 seconds, no. But
it feels good if a man comes in 5 seconds. You're like, oh shit.
No, but it's like a real like a whole new world for me, and I'm like, I get it now. I get why men are a little hoish. Like I really understand because I didn't get it before, but like once my transition and my bottom part started growing outwards, and like any little rub the wrong way.
So did you? So you didn't have that experience when you were no,
like my clit was like a normal clit, like my clit.
But did you have any relationship? Any?
Oh yeah, I've had relationships and stuff like that, but my horniness level wasn't like.
Oh yeah, that's everyone. But you've never climaxed to that point where.
No, not even that. Like the other day, like my girl and I had sex, and she made me nut all over that. That might be a little TMI. But like I was not the type to let that happen. But like now I'm like
it's like what you up to today?
Yeah, and you were still pretty horny.
Yeah.
Before, so now it's just like
it's very escalated. Like.
And the thing is,
I don't even know what to do sometimes.
The thing is with lesbians, like they, like before when you were a girl, like I know that you used to get a lot of action, and when girls like eat girls out, like you can
go for hours though,
and you can come multiple times.
Yeah.
So you still had a very sexual life before, but now
once I nut for real, I'm like.
And
why does it matter?
And that's what I tell people too. Like when they're like judge me for my transition, I'm like, if I cared what you think, I would have never transitioned.
For sure, yeah.
You know how many people look at me and are like, okay, you're a freak, you're an it. Bitch, I didn't do this for you.
Imagine living like that, you'd be like super depressed.
Yeah, like imagine really like taking in everything that people said, internalizing it, and really okay, I'm an it.
Where are you in your transition right now? Like, are you in a good place, or did the worst pass, or like is a lot of like difficult things coming up? Like
I would say like in the beginning of my transition, what was hard for me that I'm now adjusted to is like when I would tell people like, okay, I'm Josiah now, and I was very patient in the beginning because I put myself in other people's shoes, right? So I put myself in people's shoes that knew me before my transition. I'm like, well, that's like anything. It takes time to accustom. But like once we got to like a certain point in time, and I'm like, okay, it's been 6 months now, like almost a year.
You accepted, bitch.
Yeah, like why are you still calling me she? And I've been very patient.
That's when he started doing the videos, and like he went in. He was like recording. He was like, I just want to say, and you know you have those little lines when it's such a long video.
This was like what?
I was like, oh shit, Josiah's mad.
He's going down.
I just want to say something. I don't understand. If I'm telling you to stop calling me Brittany, why do you keep calling me Brittany? And I was like, but you know what? Watching, I was like, I mean, it makes sense.
No, because the thing is with me, with my transition, is I put myself in all of my friends' shoes, right? I knew it was going to take time. I knew it was going to take a while to accustom to. But like once I got past my year mark and people were still like, and you can tell between, and that's what a lot of people don't realize either. You can tell between people who are putting in the effort, and you can tell the people that just don't give a fuck. And I only cut off probably like maybe 2 friends for not respecting me for
they weren't real.
Yeah,
and real
at all. And you can feel it. You can feel the vibe. You can feel how they speak to you. That you can see how they're trying to play with you in front of your face. And my thing is, I don't push this process on anybody, right? If I tell you this is what I'm doing and we're friends, I do expect a little bit of some type of respect, right? But I also expect on my end to give you that time to accustom to now my new pronouns and my new name. But like where I was confused at was everybody's like, oh, well, you have to give us time. You have to get, well, how much time would you like? Because now I'm at a year. I haven't been called Brittany in an entire year. I've been like correcting you kindly, nicely, not even coming at you, and you're still calling me the wrong pronouns. So am I supposed to wait 2 years? 3 years, 4 years, 5. When is it okay for a trans person to feel okay for people not accepting the person they are now?
At that point, it's easier to just get new friends.
Exactly, just cut them off. That's exactly what I did. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not trying to convince you that's who I am. Cool. Okay, you don't think I'm male? That's fine. That's you. That's on you. And a lot of people don't understand. I feel like also with the transition part of things, like they think like, oh, we're just here using pronouns he, him, or with trans women she, her. No, we're literally physically taking the testosterone or the estrogen, right? So like my body is no longer a woman's body. Like 2 years ago, I would have never fought a man. Never.
That's one of my questions soon. But we'll come back to it.
Like I would have never fought a man as a stud. Now, I will fight a man and I will not fight a woman.
Yeah.
The strength is two different things.
Really?
Like I would.
How does it feel lifting?
Oh, even that. Like everything is completely different. Like my girlfriend that I have now, she only was 115 pounds. Before my transition, I couldn't pick her up. Now, I can just
fling her over.
Throw her. Like it's nothing. And that's what I try to like really make people understand. Like I don't care if you like respect me as a man or whatever, but don't try to physically, especially as a woman, because like women try me a lot.
Yeah.
And with my girlfriend's career, they try me a lot on the internet. And I try to make people understand, I don't care if you look at me as a man, I don't give a fuck. You're a stranger. You're nobody to me. You're not even in my life. Mm-hmm. But what I want people to really understand is that I'm literally transitioning into a male. Like, this isn't make-believe. This isn't delusional. Right. My body is literally going through puberty as a 12-year-old boy going through it. And now I'm going through male puberty. So my strength is now like a cisgendered man. So if I were to literally hit you, it would feel like he hit you. Okay. And I feel like people don't understand that
what
part.
What are they saying? What does your girlfriend
like,
do?
There's my girl, she's an influencer. So she's very, very popular, like on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube.
She does funny videos, right?
Oh yeah, she has 1.8 million followers on.
We're gonna have to have her on this.
Yeah, y'all have to. Yeah, she's way better than me. I ain't gonna lie. She's funny as hell.
Oh, no,
she's funny as hell.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Thank you. But with her, nobody really paid attention too much to my social media presence before I started dating her. Right. Now that I date her, the amount of traffic that goes to my social media is disgusting. Like, I'm so. Remember when TikTok would tell you like the viewers that come to your page? Uh-huh. I had 100+ viewers every single day since her and I got back together.
Wow.
And they took that actual setting away now. But like up until they took that away, like so many people were curious onto what the fuck she had going on. They came to me, which then like leads to me having more transphobic comments. I didn't have any
little comments.
Oh
my god.
Girl, she posted a video of me literally showing my armpit hair. Literally, I was in a beater and my armpit hair was out. The internet, it's literally viral on YouTube. It's a short on YouTube. I'll bring it up right. Look, I ain't even capping. 1.5. She had to turn off the fucking comments.
Oh my god.
Because people were literally coming out of my armpit hair. And I'm like, I think you're all literally.
And it was like an accident, right? You were like, oh.
It's literally a basic video. What? And y'all are mad about my armpit hair?
That's so. And you guys are like not even
doing anything.
To show the armpit.
I wish I could show you the other comments. And they would go to her other videos and be like, oh, tell her to shave her armpits. I'm like, I think you're forgetting. I'm a trans man. And I always add trans in front of it because some people might not admit this, but there's a big significance between me and you.
Yeah,
there's a huge one.
No, and I like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I will never sit here and be like, I'm not a trans man, I'm a man. I'm a trans man.
Yeah.
There's a huge.
Yeah, you said this before.
Have been a man your entire life. You have the man parts. You have been treated like a man for your entire life. When I started my transition, I went from being a woman to society treating me like a man. Society treats men and women
So
two different ways.
So touching on that a little bit. So how do you feel about transgender men or women going into sports? Do you think that's even out right there? Do you think that's an even playing field, or do you think it shouldn't happen?
I think
because what you're saying is like obviously
I feel like we're all different, right? There's a very big difference between us, and I might get a little backlash saying this, but I don't.
I mean, you're pretty much like, here's the thing, like you are like the person who can give us this kind of information.
Right.
Because you've been on both sides, so you're
instead of us watching.
To be honest with you, because she can say yes, I can say no.
Fuck, we know.
But exactly, you know, because you've been on both sides.
What do I like? I don't really know because I'm transitioning to a trans man. Right. So if I were to go play sports, nobody makes an outrage about that. Because I'm going against men.
Against men.
So they're like, you're transitioning from a woman to a man, so whatever.
So let me ask you, do you play any sports?
I played basketball, but with my transition, I was never involved with sports, so I didn't really have that. But if I were to like involve myself now in sports, nobody would even blink an eye.
Right.
A woman to a man, they're like, they think women are weaker than men in society,
right?
So for women for men to transition to women, I don't really know that process.
So
I know
let's try to let's try to even. So let's say a woman is transitioning at its highest peak. Let's say at that person's full capacity. Do you think that person can be at the same level as a fully developed man at his highest peak? Let's say in a sport, whether it could be basketball, do you think they would be at the same level, or do you think just because that person obviously going through hormones and all that stuff, they wouldn't reach that level? Because I think that's where
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
Yes, I definitely think. Because what a lot of people don't realize is with transitioning, you have to keep an eye on your levels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you get too much testosterone in your body, it breaks back down into estrogen.
Okay.
And then it also gives you health issues, right?
Okay.
So the doctors pay very close attention to your level. So with transitioning from a woman to a man, like let's just say you and I went to play basketball, right?
Right.
2 years ago, if you and I went to play basketball, I wouldn't have really tried because you would have just been able to.
Just knock you down.
Yeah. And like my body structure.
I highly doubt it, but okay.
No, I promise you. Like I'll show you a picture. Like it wasn't I small as shit. Like I look like because I've been in the gym. I'm transitioning. Like
everything's like hitting.
Yeah, like everything's changing about me.
Right.
But like before, my body was very, very much a woman's.
Right.
And I was like even like this, like my collarbone area, like this, like how it's filled out now. It wasn't filled out like that before I transitioned. Like I was very small. Like you could have probably just threw me over the shoulder and nothing.
Okay.
And that's why I say like then I would have never fought a man.
Right.
I didn't have the strength to fight a man. Would I fight a man now? Yes, because my strength have literally. Would I hesitate to fight a woman? Yes. Would I fight a man? Hell yeah. Because my strength has altered. Like your body literally alters. Now, when it comes to trans women, I would only assume that it's the same. But I think that it would have to be like if you're playing sports, you have to be through a certain time in your transition to where you're the man, like your testosterone levels are not there at all, and estrogen completely takes over.
Okay.
Like that's the only time I would think it would be fair is if your levels are actually balancing out as a cisgendered woman. But if your levels aren't balancing out, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Because
I mean,
men are stronger.
What was this, like about a year ago with that swimmer who transitioned and he just murdered it? So do you think that was fair?
No. If you look at his levels and his levels weren't as like a woman's levels,
no.
That's not fair because men are automatically stronger than women, and I can confidently say that.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So do you think it's really fair? Because right now, like right there, you just said, it wasn't fair because he wasn't fully woman. But now, obviously,
it just depends on
that person.
Like on your actual level. So when I say levels, like when you see this right here.
Yeah.
I just actually got blood work right today for them to text my T levels. So when I say like levels, like they're estrogen levels. Like if your testosterone is outweighing your estrogen, you have no reason to be in with sports.
Right.
You know, and you're biologically a male. There's no reason for you to be in sports because that's automatically unfair to the women who have been training because men are stronger than women. Yes, you identify as a trans woman, but your levels are still the same as a cisgender man.
Yeah, it's like literally biological.
So it's definitely a slippery slope.
It's definitely
a slippery slope.
But I also think that if it's going to be a thing, then just give trans people their own thing. There's enough trans people to give their own sports.
But to kind of go into like a little bit more, kind of go into the feminist movement here, and also. A lot of people say that, but not a lot of people watch women's sports.
They don't. Yeah.
So, like, do you really think that people are gonna watch transgender sports? That's even yeah. So, especially like, why would you even try? Why would you even try?
Transgenders want their own separate like overall.
I think right there we're just creating more of a division.
Yeah, that's very true. That you say that. Yeah.
Yeah. So why like?
I just maybe like. A set of rules that come out, like your levels need to be a certain amount. Because like
that's good.
If I were operating maybe like a year and a half ago and I would try to go to men's sports, it wouldn't have worked for me.
Right.
Yeah, maybe like you need to measure
like you need to watch your levels and your estrogen needs to be higher than your testosterone because it's that's a known fact and I've known that with my even own transition. Men are extremely stronger than women and like the more I've transitioned, the more I'm like, whoa, like the strength between men and women is two different things. Like, bro, like I could barely even open a pickle jar before my transition. Now my girl's like, here. I'm like,
that's crazy.
It is. I mean, it's
a big difference. Like,
and now you brought it up.
Yeah, of course. I'm very confident. I mean,
you brought this up.
Yeah.
So, because I was telling Sandra the other day, I'm like, listen, like if a woman is man enough to step up on me and she slaps me,
I even said that as a stud, though. Like, even as a stud, and I was still a woman, right?
Yeah.
I use the title stud. I'm still a woman. If you are confident enough to walk up to a man and hit a man as a woman,
he gets a pass.
Yes.
I'm sorry, he gets a pass.
Why are you hitting that man?
Exactly.
Why are you hitting him? Like that's another argument I use with domestic violence. Is you're beating the fuck out of him. There's only so much.
So much shit. Yeah, exactly.
That a person can take.
I mean, it's self-defense at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point, it's self-defense. I mean, like,
you know the man can knock you the fuck out.
Yeah, no wonder the men get so mad and they're like, yo, if I just hit you, you're gonna fly out.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying right now with people that come at me with my transition, like women in particular, right? Because like, it's more so on the internet. It's not ever really in person. But like with my girl's career, it comes with a lot of backlash on me because it's a lot of spotlight. Oh, you're with a what?
Does she feel bad?
Yeah, she feels bad, but she also stands up for it. Like my girl don't take no shit.
She stands up.
She don't give a damn. So you said what about my man, bitch? I'll cut your head off.
And you guys met recently, or like you knew her from the past?
Yeah, like I actually knew her as Brittany. So before my transition, we met in Southern Nights, and then like we like separated, and then I had a girlfriend, and then I slid in her DM, and then ever since then.
It's not the only thing you slid in.
Yeah, you ain't So like with my girl though, like it comes with a lot of backlash, which I expected because I don't expect everybody to understand this process, and I don't expect everybody to have the same thought process. And I think that's what makes me different from a lot of other people is that I don't give a damn.
Cool. And you're trying to understand.
Yeah, like it's like okay, cool. You have that belief, I have my belief. If we can literally sit in the middle and shake hands at the end of the day, and we still have that mutual respect, I don't give a damn.
Perfect.
You know what I mean?
But you know why they're not shaking your hand because they're in the comments all.
Yeah, they're all in the comments.
Hiding.
No, it's so funny. Like it's the funniest things they leave in her comment. Like, oh, that would be a man. You're right. I'm a trans man. So what are you really trying to say?
Right, you shut it down.
Yeah, like what are you? I didn't say it was. But the thing is that if she were to sit here and use the caption "trans man," then it would be a problem, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like you really can't win with it. And when people like, oh, you want to be a man so bad, I'm like, actually, I signed up to be a trans man. Like I'm not delusional. Like people think like once you start to transition, you forget that you lived the other sex your entire life. I didn't forget.
So like. So one thing I definitely want to touch on, and I think it's very important, is definitely mental health. Because you said you suffered so much with your depression. You said 27 when you started your whole transition.
Yeah.
Was it also before that, or just something that happened while you were doing the transition?
So I always struggled with mental health, like to be like at period. Like my life was always very rocky and stuff like that. Then I also suffered from secretly wanting to be a boy. Like the second I hit puberty and realized I wasn't gonna grow a beard like my brothers and I was getting titties, I was pissed. I'm like,
oh man.
So you're telling me I'm not like my brother over here? We don't have the same thing going on? Yeah. I was immediately like pissed. And then growing up I was very sheltered. Like between my adopted parents and then between being in foster care after leaving my adopted parents, it's all very sheltered. So I never really understood what transgender was until I met a trans man. And I was like, I always thought like trans people were like, oh, you change your pronouns and that's it. Like I didn't know that you could literally take estrogen or testosterone. Wow. Yeah, so like for me, I was like,
when did you learn this? So like
literally when I met 27. Like
you met 27.
I swear to God, like I really didn't.
So you were like pretty much just living as a girl, still having these feelings, but you did not know that.
I had no idea. Like I was so sheltered.
30 now?
I'm about to be 30 in that
So 3 years ago. About 3 years ago.
I was very sheltered.
So
like
very recent.
Yes, very, very. And I would say I was actually very ignorant. Like I won't be scared to say that because
I feel you. I'm the same way. I was
like, why the fuck are y'all walking around saying your pronouns are this and you look like a girl? That doesn't even make sense. Like I didn't understand that part of it. And then I met my friend who's a trans man, and I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, facial hair on your face. Where did you get that? Like, you don't even have titties. Like, wait.
Oh, so it was like
yeah, it was like a. But really, before I even met him, probably like a month before that, I seen a trans man on TikTok, and it was literally a simple TikTok. Like the man was literally dragging the trash shirtless down the driveway. He was like, "Oh, nothing to see here, just taking the trash out shirtless." And I was like, "Well, what the fuck is the big deal? You're shirtless, like any other man that takes out the fucking trash."
Yeah.
So then I go to the comments, and I'm like, seeing like, "Oh, you're trans," like, "Oh, congratulations, congratulations." I'm like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" And then I literally clicked on their profile, and I'm like, "Oh, this is how that works." And then I literally met my friend in work probably a month later, and I'm like, "This is how this works." And then I started asking him questions like, "Well, so how did you start this process? How did you get it?" Like, and I still to this day tell him, without you, there would have never been no Josiah, because I didn't understand I was very ignorant, and not even intentionally ignorant, right? It's just like I would wonder, like, why are you not saying that your pronouns are he, him, and you're a girl? Like, I didn't get that you could go to the doctor and they can prescribe you estrogen or testosterone, and you rub it on, or you shoot it up, and it's like, like, that's really what I do, bro. I literally just rub some gel on, and like,
really?
Yeah, that's I literally rub gel. Like, there's the shots, and then you have the gel. I'm too all over the place to do the shots. I do the gel, so I put it on in the morning and in the afternoon. That's what.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. I thought you were always doing.
Oh yeah, nah. It's just gel. Literally, I squirt it on.
You see?
I'll send y'all a picture of the bottle.
Let me get some. I need some muscle.
I got you.
I need some muscle. Rub somewhere over here.
You're rubbing testosterone.
Yeah, so testosterone.
And that has changed your hair, and it has changed
everything. Like, okay, my face.
I need some more.
My face are taking a little long, but you see this, like, growing.
Yeah.
Even my body structure. Because you remember when we first met. People don't get it about me too. Is like, I don't transition for anybody else to accept it or understand. I do it for myself. So if you don't accept it or you don't understand it, that's not my fucking problem. That's not my problem.
No, I'm glad you think like that, because like, imagine living for other people. I'm a people pleaser, and lately's been pissing me off.
Oh, I am a people pleaser. Please,
nah,
too.
but
lately, absolutely not.
Lately, it's been like, man, I'm freaking tired of it, and but I'm always gonna be that way. But imagine.
No, but you can break that.
I'm trying, but I can't imagine like transitioning like you and still having to worry about people's feelings. Like,
oh no, even with like the
that must be exhausting.
The bathroom bill that was just passed.
Wait, what's that?
Oh, you guys haven't heard?
I have not.
So, I don't remember the actual name of it, but a bill was just passed like a few weeks ago, where all transgender people need to now use the bathroom that they were assigned gender at birth. And the way that makes that very confusion, like the confusion.
So you can't go to a men's bathroom anymore now? What?
I must go to the women's.
But they don't know.
Oh, honey. Before I even transitioned and I was a stud, women didn't want me in the bathroom. I promise you,
really?
I could probably tell you a good 20 times on the counts where women have questioned why. And when I tell you, they are very bold, and they will look you in the face and ask you why you are in their restroom. What? They will ask you. And before, like in the past, I had no rap.
Listen, to be honest,
bitch.
Because
why are you asking me? I wouldn't be here. Or they'll try to play it off like, am I in the men's room? And I'll tell them, well, you know the men's room has urinals, so you know you're not in the men's room because there's no urinal.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Because I mean,
it's very weird.
I think
I never would think that.
Have you ever had any issues going into the men's room? Obviously not. Yeah, we don't.
Right
to be honest with you,
like when that law passed, like with me still having, like it depends on what type of shirt I have on. Like me and my girl went out to eat the other day, and like you can still see like my chest, right? And
I got titties, but I'm fat.
But if you look at my chest, you can tell like if you really look at it, you can tell like they're boobs. You can tell like my chest. No, maybe it's me.
I got squinch.
Good, like. Cause you have like now you're built, so like
it's cut. Like you got the cut.
It's cut. Yeah. You know, just see.
Oh no, they definitely got smaller because before my transition, and now they don't.
You've seen Olympian women that sometimes don't have any boobs because all they do is like
work out.
That's the only reason my wife doesn't work out. She'd be like, nah, I'm gonna lose my boobs. I'm like,
for real?
No, like even the top of my chest.
I'd be like, don't work out.
I was like touch the top of my chest, like the top of my chest since I started working out. It's starting to form muscle.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like when I jump up and down, like before my boobs would like move.
Mm-hmm.
Like now
they don't.
They barely move.
Does it bother you having the scar when they?
Well, I'm supposed to have my surgery next month, July 13th. Okay, so I don't know if y'all know also. So with the bill that was passed, they made it seem like it was about children. I call it the fine print of the bill, which I agree with the children aspect of it. Right. We've already gone through that.
Which I heard that part, but
I agree with the children aspect because it's like
I heard there was something behind it also, but
so
I don't.
Small print of the bill, Ron DeShitso added in there that any adult trans person, in order for any nurse practitioner in the state of Florida cannot prescribe any type of hormones. Anything that has to do with gender affirming care, if you're a nurse practitioner, you cannot do it in the state of Florida. You're just not a doctor, according to Ron DeSantis, correct the fuck his name is. You're not a doctor. So he took that right away from them. And the doctor's office that I go to is Spectrum Health, which is the doctor's office that literally saved my life, because before I went to Spectrum, I don't trust doctors. I think it's all a scam. I think it's...
Listen, I don't believe anything with the name Spectrum. I'm sorry. Their internet is garbage.
Yeah, it is. But it's called Spectrum Health and it's spelled different.
Okay, fantastic then.
Yeah, no.
Then let's keep going there.
I promise. But before them, I can go to an actual doctor. Like, I don't trust doctors. I think they're very money hungry. I don't think that... Like, I feel like, listen, bitch, if it's time for me to die, Jesus, take the wheel, I'm done. Don't keep me alive. Let me go. This world is too evil anyway. But with Spectrum Health, there's only nurse practitioners inside of Spectrum Health. 90% of gender affirming care here in Florida is done by nurse practitioners.
He took that too?
He took that too.
Jesus Christ.
Nurse practitioners cannot prescribe estrogen or testosterone right now, which is my entire doctor's office who prescribes me tea.
So why not? You have to wait for the doctor?
Now I have to go find a new doctor. Like an actual doctor, which I'm not saying nurse practitioners aren't doctors, but according to Ron DeSantis, they aren't doctors now.
DeSantis.
Fuck you, Ron.
Hey, he might be our next president. Chill.
Hold on. So you were dealing with the situation that you were not able maybe to get your top surgery.
Oh, I'm dealing with it right now, literally.
Plus the bathroom bill.
Oh yeah, I'm still dealing with both of those issues right now.
Heck?
I paid my surgeon that I'm gonna go through that to do my top.
It was a hormone situation.
And when I tell you I paid out of my own money and I was working 110 hours every 2 weeks to ensure that I was able to pay this, and out of pride, I didn't make a GoFundMe like anybody else. I didn't ask for... It was more a pride thing. I paid $7,500 to a surgeon to chop off my boobs, who legally cannot do it right now until a consent form is dropped by the Board of Medicine. And get this is the kicker right here. The Board of Medicine wants to drop a consent form for me to understand what I'm really doing.
But you could have gotten it for an eighth of that price over in Mexico. You see, Mexicans do want to work.
Yeah, I'm crying. Listen.
Oh yeah, why didn't you think of going maybe like
to Mexico?
No, just
just in general.
Any other place?
Because I have to still work. I mean, I got PTO, but why would I do that when I thought it was okay to do here in America?
Well, it was. I mean, obviously,
literally up until.
But is it just here? Is it just here in the state of Florida, or is it?
Oh yeah, it's just Florida. I can go to another state. Well, I think it's just Orlando because I know a surgeon in Miami that I wanted to go to originally.
There's a lot of those over there.
Yes, and I called them.
I've seen those
this
TikToks.
Past week, and she's like, "Yeah, no, we're still doing practice as normal.
Oh really?
You just have to come in the day before."
So can you get reimbursed for the $7,500?
I can get reimbursed, but the only thing with me is that I feel like a lot of surgeons look at this as like they don't take it as serious, right? I've done my research on my end. I've seen a lot of trans men that have gone under to get their boobs chopped off, and they come out and one shit's up here and the other one's down. Like it's not even, right?
What?
So Dr. Lily with HC Plastic is supposed to do my top surgery. The only reason why I'm so confident in her is that, you know, when you meet like a doctor or like just anyone in general, right? And they're explaining whatever they're about to do to you. This woman broke down both procedures that she could have potentially done on my body. And when I tell you she broke it down, she had the diagram, she's pointing, she's blah, 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 blah. you could just tell by her energy. Yes, I felt extremely. I'm like, oh, so you're not gonna experiment on me. You're not just gonna cut me open. You can tell she knows what she's doing, right? So that's when it comes with me right now. That's my issue, is that I don't want to go find another doctor because I don't want my chest to get. I've seen trans men whose their chests are literally butchered, and I'm like.
You just reminded me of an episode of Botched.
Yeah, literally. And I'm like, I'm not gonna pay you all this money for you to fuck up my chest.
I didn't know it sounds like a easier surgery than like putting boobs in.
No, I mean it's kind of the same thing as taking them out for like cancer patients, but not. And some doctors don't know what they're doing. And
is it very extensive what you have to go through?
Yes, like I think it costs like $7,500. I can't smoke marijuana 30 days before. I can't smoke any tobacco. I can't take my tea 2 weeks before. Like at least the office that I'm going through, they're very serious and they don't play any fucking type of games. They want your results to be the best of the best results. But that's not the case with all surgeons that are doing gender affirming care. So
or any surgeries. There's a lot
even that.
There's a lot of BBLs
who just recently passed away, and that's.
Oh, I saw that too. Yeah,
and
that's crazy.
She got the surgery done and then she passed.
Yeah, it was a mopping time. And my thing is that like I seen a video of another surgeon talking about like that procedure, and like he's like, yeah, like that procedure can literally kill you because if you take the fat and you inject it, I guess like anywhere in the ass and it gets to the heart and you're gonna die.
Oh my god!
It's one of the most dangerous.
You see, I didn't know that part. I saw she died, but I didn't know what was the cause.
Yeah, they say BBLs are actually very dangerous.
Yeah.
And you can, right now, if I were to say, you know what, fuck it, I don't want top surgery, I want a BBL.
So you think? So
with no problem. They would be able to do my BBL tomorrow, no fucking problem.
Well, because you want to transition,
and this is what I tell people: it's because of how society looks at women, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to take away part of my womanhood. That's a problem. Well, at least here in Florida right now, right? Mm-hmm. It's a problem in other states that are more conservative. But if I were to go and tell them, you know what, fuck it.
Make them bigger.
Surgery. Make them bigger. Make my ass fatter. No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
You know why?
I never thought about it that
way. Sexualizes women. Not a problem to sexualize women. There's no respect when it comes to, if you look at it, from me transitioning from a woman to a man, there's no respect in society, and I'm not saying men, I'm saying society, that they have for women, right? Women can do whatever, as long as it's sexualizing them, as long as somebody has something to look at and they're like, there's something there. It's no problem. But the second a woman wants to alter her body to look more masculine, now it's a problem. Because you can't sexualize me anymore. There's nothing for you to look at. There's no ass.
I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, there's no consent form being dropped for a BBL.
Yeah, and that's the most dangerous surgery that you can literally undergo. It can literally kill you. But you're telling me a surgery that y'all perform for cancer patients, you can't.
That's so crazy.
It's not an issue. Or if I told you I wanted a breast reduction, which my boss had brought this up, she's like, why didn't you just tell me you want a breast reduction? I'm like, that's actually a good idea because it's the word.
It's how to phrase it. Yeah.
I'm like, that's a genius. I see why you're the fucking boss. You're a genius.
Yeah,
that's a genius idea of the verbiage of it. But it's like,
would it be the same because like a reduction still means that you will still have boobs? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know how that would work.
Would it work if you were just saying like, hey, I want to remove because I don't want to risk cancer, like breast cancer?
If I were to say right now, like from a doctor, like, oh, I potentially can have breast cancer, then remove, no problem. But because it's under gender affirming care, it's a problem.
Do you feel like sometimes you wish you could play the system, like how we're saying, like?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Right now, it took me so long to even get the money for my top surgery. My top surgery is supposed to be next month. If they don't drop the consent form, the Board of Health, if they don't drop, or the Board of Medicine here in Florida, if they don't drop that consent form by next Friday, I cannot get my surgery that I've already paid for.
Wow.
That's just...
And like when I tell you I slaved for that surgery.
No, I know.
Yeah, you know, like all I did was I literally just worked. I wouldn't take any handout from anybody. The only person that gave me money towards my surgery and literally had to beg me was my girl. She gave me $990 towards it. But she had to beg, because for me it was more of a pride thing. right? It's something that I want done.
Josiah's crazy because he lives alone, and you know how hard it is to even move alone at these
right
days.
now. Heck yeah.
You live with your girlfriend now?
Yeah, she moved in now. Yeah.
Oh, okay, but he was paying for his own place for a while before the girlfriend moved. So that's already rent, bills by himself, plus saving for this surgery.
I was low key, and what makes me upset is like I was low key missing meals in order to pay for the surgery. Like, and I treat it more of like a pride thing because it's like I shouldn't be asking nobody for. Well, I mean I could. It's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? But it's not medically necessary, right? It's something I want to alter on my own, and on my end, I'm very prideful. Like even when it comes to bills and stuff like that, I'm very prideful.
Yeah.
So when it came to my surgery, I was like, I had to probably GoFundMe for 1 second. I took it down. So I'm like asking other people for money. Like
I'm the same way.
Yeah, like I'd
rather like right now, just starve and like.
Yeah, because you feel like you owe somebody. Like,
yeah, exactly. And I don't want to go get this surgery, and someone be like, I gave you $100 towards that, so I'm the reason you got it.
But your girlfriend was like, let me help you out.
Oh, she was on it. Like, because I kept saying no. I was like, no. She's like, are you serious? Though. Like, I'm your partner. I'm supposed to be able to help you. And I'm like,
and she wants you to make this goal happen.
Yeah, like, and she was like, I'm just going to call them. And I'm like, okay, fine. And then I took it. But it was like a very, like, it was something she had to bring up often. And then the only reason I really caved is I'm like, okay, you're right. You are my partner. It's not right for me to be denying you to be able to do this for me. But, yeah. She's very supportive and like the whole thing. She wanted to give me more, but I was like, no. Like, if this is something I want to do on my own, then I need
to that's why you're a transgender man. Because I would have been like, yeah, let me get some of that. And then taking her out to dinner and be like, thanks, babe, for dinner.
No, I mean, I took the 990 though. I did take it, but she wanted to like really invest into it, and I was like, she's my partner, but it's more me. Like I was the issue in it, right? Like I was just too prideful. I was just like,
right.
But it just shows you like you really like. I'm just letting people know you really want this for you, because you would not be going through all of this if you really didn't want it. Because these obstacles would make a lot of people like give up if it wasn't a real thing.
Right off the beginning, to be honest with you, I mean, you took the biggest step, and now you're almost there. Which I mean, it's crazy because a lot of people, like I said, and I think that's the reason why we touch so many things, like the mental health, the mental health, and then the whole thing that you had to go with your family, even though they weren't supportive, and you just pretty much just said, fuck it, I'm gonna do my thing. And I think that's a lot of things that people need to hear.
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about it because it's like a lot of people, because of the media, they think this is just like a thing that you're making.
It's a phase. It's a phase. Yeah, it's a phase that's just gonna.
Anybody would want to put themselves through this on purpose.
What people don't understand too is that you can't just start hormones. That's not how it works. Like, I was grateful enough to go through Spectrum Health, who literally specializes in transgender healthcare, so my process was a little easier. But when you come out as trans, you have to get a lot of support from literally a therapist, right? I got lucky because, again, Spectrum Health specializes in transgender healthcare, so they're not trying to take advantage of me, right? But I've heard stories of like trans men who need that level of support. You cannot start testosterone or estrogen without that letter of support from a therapist that's saying that you're mentally competent, essentially, that's how I look at it, to make that decision. You know what you're signing up for, right?
Right.
A lot of people think that it's like, I'm trans, give me the hormones. No. Even with my surgery, I needed to go to the therapist. I needed a therapist to give me a letter of recommendation.
Really?
The surgeon requested that documentation. If I did not have that documentation, they will not do it. So there are steps behind it.
Yeah, see, and that's good you're talking about this, because everybody like in Instagram and TikTok, that's dumb shit.
They act like you just get it. Like
no, and they're like, oh my god, we're so scared our little kids are gonna just transition like that. You cannot
do that.
A little kid,
you can't. And my thing is also what bothers me about like even children transitioning, right? a parent will let their child transition and then the child gets older. Because I've been watching detransition because I've been trying to understand, like, why do y'all want to detransition? Like, what the fuck was the point of doing all this?
Right? What is that? Like, go back?
Going back.
Yeah, go back to, So, like, it would be like me telling you one day, right? We would go eat lunch. Sandra, by the way, I want you to call me she and her again. And Brittany. And I'm a girl.
I would respect it.
Of course. No, but that's what detransition. Like, that's...
And they're
There's people that do that, right? But from my paying attention, it's been kids that have been able to transition as a child.
And they want to go back.
And when they hit adulthood at a certain time in their adulthood, they're like, wait a minute, the fuck happened to me?
I didn't know there was that many people.
But what really bothers me is that when a child chooses to transition, that information the doctor gives to the parent and the parent decides that, right? So people are like, oh, the doctors are brainwashing us, this, that, and the third. You're the parent, right? You know your child, right? So even if a doctor says they're going to unalive themselves, right? You're saying you have that bond with your child and you know and you're actually genuinely involved with your child. Why would you fall into that peer pressure of making your child trans? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and then like even with like parents that try to be like, oh, well, like I was told this. You are in charge of your child, right? Hypothetically, if me and my girlfriend's son came to me, us, and were like, I want to be a woman, I want to transition, I wouldn't automatically take him to the doctor and tell them put a puberty blocker in our son and let him stop his hormones.
Right.
Okay, cool. That's how you feel today. That's fine. Then I'll respect that's how you feel. You want to dress that way? That's fine. You want your pronouns? That's fine. But I'm not medically going to transition you.
Yeah.
You can transition your child without medically doing it.
But I'm honestly...
Without affecting their mental.
So kind of touching on that and a little bit of like what we were talking about earlier about TV. I think one of the shows that I did watch about transitioning was Pose. I don't know if you ever watched it. It's on FX. But it dealt during the 80s where they were going into... it was just pretty much these men transitioning to being into women. I think they had like 3 seasons. Pretty good episode. And this dealt... It dealt during the 80s, during the 80s era when the AIDS pandemic was going on. Ooh. So it really it goes deep, and I think one of the episodes was when one of the girls was going to fully transition. She had a sugar daddy. She was living with this guy, and then she decided she saved up all the money that he was giving her and chopped it off. And the guy said, "That's not what I'm looking for." Kicked her out in the streets, and she started.
To be honest, that's not wrong.
Yeah, but because that's what the guy was looking for.
Yeah, not to cut you off.
Yeah, but that's what the guy was looking for. But she did regret it, not because of the money. She didn't feel like herself anymore.
Of course, absolutely.
She regretted the whole part of her just
I feel like people
cutting
are
it
confused.
off. And I think it was she felt like she accepted who she was with how she was fully, and when she did that, she didn't feel complete anymore.
Oh yeah, because you're taking that part of you away. Like, you get what I'm saying? So it's like if you're not really feeling like that.
Yeah, I mean, we went to the bar and I asked.
Yeah.
No, me and you. Yeah. Well, that was with the girl. But I asked him, like, I wanted to know. Because I know you have more questions than me, but since we've been friends for a while, I asked him, like, hey, are you going to get bottom surgery?
No.
That is definitely one of my questions. Like, why wouldn't that be an option? I mean, if...
Go ahead, yeah, tell him.
So with me, right? I always just wanted like to have that masculine energy. I wanted the facial hair, I wanted the muscle,
big dick energy.
Yeah, like I didn't really care about having the dick. Right. I wanted the boobs to be away. Like I don't care about literally physically. I don't have a problem with my bottom downstairs. But like this, like my top half is probably my.
That bothers you a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, like the boobs bother me more than not having a dick. I don't give a fuck about it.
That's so crazy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like a lot of trans men sometimes, like they struggle with both, like the top and the bottom. For me, I don't ever intend to have bottom surgery. Mm-hmm. I think it's too complex. I think it's too much, and I'm not going through 3 or 4 surgeries. And not to sound ignorant, but I'm not doing all that if I can't get you physically pregnant. Like, that would be the point in me wanting one. Like, because I can go to literally the fucking sex store and buy whatever size I want. Even when it comes down to a print.
And right now you're having great sex.
Yeah.
And you're good. So
exactly. But, like, when you, like, chop your bottom half off, I'm pretty sure you lose sensation. And you have to, like...
I wouldn't know. I've never done it.
Yeah, don't do it.
No, but there is... they
lose
said...
sensation.
I forgot which one they said is easier. Shit, I don't remember if it's...
Top surgery.
No. I forgot which one they said it was easier. For
well, I mean,
going to a dick than a dick to
Are you watching 90 Day Fiance?
No.
You see, you slack it.
I think isn't there a trans man on there?
Yeah. So he actually did it. He kind of explains it a couple of times in the episode.
But what is?
So I was
he
like,
went from a she to a he?
Yeah. He went and he got one. He got one. Apparently, it's like I can't really explain it.
Like skin from your arm or your leg.
I think he did his leg from what I've heard.
Understand.
Yeah, but
he gets hard.
Yeah. Because it's something.
And everything in there.
He said he doesn't. No. I mean, you have to watch the episode because I can't really remember that much.
No.
Yeah. What?
What did you ask?
Like I heard that you have to put like a device to like make
it was an option. It was an option. I do remember that. It was an option, but apparently because of how they did it, the blood flow, he didn't need it. So he opted out of that. But it was like I want to
interesting when you go from penis to vagina, you have to insert like
I get. They were talking about I Am Jazz. A dilator
to make sure the hole stays open.
Yeah, every day.
So it's almost like if you were practicing, let's say for anal, you always put in something in your ass.
The fuck?
Same thing with shit.
What is it? What the fuck?
You're just practicing all day, just sitting in the mirror.
No, because even in the episode, because her mom was like, "Oh, I'm gonna wake up Jazz and I'm gonna make her dilate because if that shit closes, I'm gonna be pissed." And she got a lot of backlash from that because they were like,
"You dilating, Doc?"
They were like, why are you forcing her to dilate? Like she got a lot of backlash.
Yeah, but it's to make sure that the procedure went.
Yeah,
you go from a little thing like that, and then you go bigger to make sure the hole stays.
Yeah.
Oh, like you know.
But like with me and my transition, I've never really wanted a penis. Like
when you told me that, and that's what I'm saying. I learned slowly with you, but I'm glad I have because I just feel like less ignorant than most people. When I see people in the internet act the way they do, I'm like, y'all, I could tell y'all don't have no like
knowledge.
Yeah,
but they don't share the dumb. Like, I was at that at one point too, because like I thought like trans people were only like calling them, they're changing the pronouns, and I was like, well, that doesn't make you a man.
Yeah.
Like that, I don't understand that.
But now you know.
Yeah, now I obviously know.
Okay, so because he asked me over the phone before we did the episode, like
I've asked her so many.
Yeah, he had like a lot of questions, and I remember someone always telling me gender and sex are always different.
Yeah, people say all the time because there's trans people that
don't confuse
trans men that will transition from female to male and then be gay, and they're like, what's
No, it can be very confusing because people are like, confusing. For example, let's say there is a man that's gay and he is with a woman that transitioned to a man, and they're like, wait, but they have sex. Yes.
So what would you consider yourself? Because right now you're
it's separate. Gender and sex.
That's what I said. Technically you're a lesbian.
No.
Technically you're a lesbian, but you consider yourself a man.
Yeah,
So what do you consider yourself?
Me and my girl have this conversation, right? Because she's like, people were like, oh, well, lesbians aren't supposed to like men, so why are lesbians dating trans men?
Okay.
Again.
That's not my thing, though. That's not my thing.
I'm going to tell you. I'm not delusional, right?
Yeah.
There is a big difference between cisgendered men and trans men. One of them being a trans man has lived most of their life as a female.
Right.
Most trans men do not undergo bottom surgery. So when a lesbian is having that I know of, most of them do not. I mean, people do, but it's not like, mostly it's top surgery, right? Mm-hmm. So what I have experienced in the past, because my girl was a lesbian, she don't date men, and like when she came out with me, like the internet was in an uproar. They're like, what the fuck, you're not gay.
But it.
I have a.
She still likes your.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Not gonna go away.
It's not gonna go away, and that's what makes me different between you and me. And a lot of trans men will sit up here and say that don't have bottom surgery. They'll act like, "What the fuck? You're not gay. That's not what that is." It's still being a lesbian.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Like, it's the same thing. I don't mean to be
with that.
No, yeah, like no, it's the same thing because you and I are very much still different.
Yeah.
Hypothetically, if my girl went and fucked you and they came to, it would be two different fucks.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not to be weird and I'm
yeah, but it would be. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting at.
The situation is very different. Like, at any point in time, I can throw the strap and me and my girl can bump coochies, no fucking problem. That's what makes me different between trans men and a cisgendered
But
man.
I like that you're hitting these points because you're not over here like, I'm a man.
No, I'll never say that.
I'm Mr. Still your girl.
No, absolutely not. And my thing is, with people even on the internet, they're like, oh, you want to be a man so bad. That's not what I signed up to be a trans man.
Right.
You're forgetting trans in the beginning.
At this point, honestly, if I was you, I'd just be like, man, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. Put whatever I want to do.
I'm not.
I don't want boobs.
No, yeah, no, bro. Like that's something I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna argue with you. People think like people on the internet be like, oh, they call me a she. I'm gonna be mad. Okay, man, you're right. I was a she for 27 years of my life. Now I look like a he.
Now I want to be a he.
Yeah, like what are you doing? Like,
you know what you should say? Honestly, at least I lived 2 different lives. What about you?
Yeah, what the fuck you did, bitch? You
have
probably
the same
not
life all your life.
you. Like, and I notice most people that usually come at me are people who aren't comfortable in their own skin. They don't even love themselves. You don't even have the courage to be you. So you coming at me and you think I give a fuck about your opinion? You can't even be who you really want to be?
It's just stupid because it's like he's interested in your life, but he's not giving you shit. And guess what?
Yeah, he's not like, I'm the real man here.
I mean, it's definitely, like you said before, it's a different aspect.
Yeah, and doesn't even take away anything from your manhood today.
No, not at all.
You go home and you can fuck your wife, and you're still a man. And guess what? You're a trans man.
And that's what I try to tell people is like, y'all be like, oh, you want to be a man so bad? No, I want to be a trans man.
Like, I like that though.
Yeah, like that's where people get it fucked up. Is I never heard of that.
I like the way no one has ever said it though like that.
Like that, because people will be like, no, I'm a man. I'm this. You're right, I'm not. I lived as a woman for 27 years of my life. What is the fuck is your point? I am a trans man. You are trying to assume in your head I identify as a man. Yeah. But what's even fucked up about society is that people give my girl shit for like, oh, this is my man, whatever. But if she were to say, this is my woman, and they would see me, that's not a woman, that's a man.
Yeah.
Why would you? How dare you say that? That's a man. That's not a woman.
It's all perspective.
Yeah, like
she's famous for doing funny videos. Why don't you just fuck with everybody?
Oh no, we do. Like even the armpit video, I was like, yeah, babe, let's do some nasty shit again because clearly it made the internet.
Her suck the hair.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know about all that.
Bro, but when I tell you, like, people went in an uproar about my armpit hair, I was so confused.
And it was an accident because you just.
I just whipped on my arm, like
you didn't mean, like you didn't even remember.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm like, to me, like, I didn't even shave as a stud. If you think I'm transitioning to a trans man and you think I'm gonna start shaving now, you're hiding the mistake, honey. No, look at my legs. These have been this hair. I mean, they've gotten hairy with my transition. They were hairy, but men are hairy. Like my leg hair even changed.
And honestly, like, don't even remember like you guys before here. Like, I just don't even.
It's because I've always been masculine. That's why.
Yeah, like so when I met him before, like.
We did it before and after.
Yo,
I got you.
He put it.
Yeah.
No, he put it like when you were younger and with the boobs.
Yeah, look, I'll show you right now.
Yeah, but when I met him before, he was wearing like a polo and like big shirts, and I knew that. Like,
yeah, we instantly clicked, bro.
Yeah, and like I knew that he was just like not trying to be girly. Like I could tell, obviously. So I was just like, okay, I'm cool with it.
And then we'll definitely share what we can on the gram.
Oh yeah, I got you guys. Seriously,
you're okay with like tagging you and everything?
No, I don't.
I mean, we are on video at this point, so I mean.
No, but the thing about me, and the only thing that made me a little nervous about this like interview is I think very differently, right? I think outside of the box than most.
And I think that's what we're.
Well, not like an interview, but you know what I mean, like us just talking. But
I never met him like
yeah,
that.
I was being foster care.
I never met him like that. That's not like
It just seems like I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't understand.
God, yo, that's different. The total 180. Yeah. I didn't mean him like that.
No, it's so funny as fuck. She doesn't even know what to say. She's like,
Is that your sister? Is that your sister? Who that is?
Okay, so we touched on so many things, but there's still like a lot of questions, and we can't stay here forever. But do you have any final does anything?
We can do it again.
To be honest with you, I'm happy you came by.
Did you think I was gonna be like
scary?
To be honest with you, very offended by
No, to be honest with you, not really. I mean, a little worried about what you wanted to share. I mean, it is a very personal topic.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So,
but you did
very
yourself,
happy. Thank you.
Even with something that's like periods, it didn't even cross.
Yeah, that's something that I don't even bring that up.
It didn't even cross my mind.
Because I've had even trans men judge me for still getting my period, and I'm like,
what would happen if you take birth control that has
no, like the birth control they prescribe
estrogen? What would happen?
I don't even know.
Okay.
But the birth control they prescribed me, I literally had my period for 2 weeks. I was so pissed. And when I went back to my doctor, and I was like, yeah. She was like, well, how's that going? I was like, I stopped. And she was like, why? And I'm like, I got my period for 2 weeks. I've never in my life.
Keep going though.
Yeah, and that's what she said. She did say, you should have never stopped. And I'm like, well, bitch, I'm not bleeding for 2 weeks. I don't even want to bleed for one. What makes me think I want to bleed for two? Like, what?
As a woman, I'm
like, what the fuck is so possible online? And then
being a trans man and bleeding.
Yeah, it's bro. I would lose my shit because men do not get their period. Like, yes, I know I'm a trans man.
I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, and you unlucky motherfucker. Okay, listen, but a lot of trans men, it stops for them, right? And in that process for me. If I disclosed it to another trans man, a lot of them would judge me, and I'm like, that's not my fucking fault. That's inside of me.
It's regular?
Yeah, I mean, I could go get, literally 7 days. I'm on it right now as we talk. Yeah. I'm open because, I like y'all, but, that's not something I bring up because people will judge me quick, and they'll be quick to be like, well, you still get your period. That's a woman thing. I identify as a trans man. I do not identify as a man. I identify as a trans man. Yeah, trans might not be in front of it all the time, but you know damn well I'm trans. Yeah. So fucking put it in front.
I think
maybe that would help.
I think that's what I was gonna get to. I think that's what would help. I think a lot of people get that perception.
Right.
They see you and they see, oh,
you're trying to be a man.
You're trying to be a man. Exactly.
Yeah, and I try to argue, come back with that argument. I think you're forgetting the trans part in front of it. I don't want to be like you. If I wanted to be like you, I would have been born a man.
Yeah.
Right? I would have never started this process. This process will never make me like you. It can make me similar to you, but it won't make me like you. Because at the end of the day, how old are you?
35. I'm old.
You've been a man for 35 years, your entire life. I've been a man for 2 years.
But it's just
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it makes me annoyed because I just feel like let's say I wake up tomorrow and I want to just chop my hair, nobody will say anything.
Oh yeah, no.
You know what
I mean, but you could even if you did that, right? If you chopped your hair and you started dressing a little bit masculine, you can't see your boobs or nothing, and you went into the women's restroom, and they told you to get out, that will affect you too, and that's what's fucked up about the bill because not every single woman is feminine as fuck. There are women that embrace their womanhood, and they're a little bit masculine. So now you have those women going into the bathroom and they're getting confused as trans. And if a woman asks me to get out of the bathroom and I don't leave,
I'll punch her in the face. You can punch her in the face.
Yeah, no, dead ass. No.
Wait, so what bathroom are you using?
I don't.
Now?
I don't.
You just hold your pee?
Yeah.
You just hold it?
I don't. Yeah, I really, because I don't want to go into the women's bathroom and make people uncomfortable because they automatically look at me. I'm not the type of person to make people uncomfortable, and I don't like confrontational situations.
You know what's the best part about having a kid? You can go to the family's bathroom.
That is true as fuck. That's true as fuck. No, but the other day we were out and he had to pee, and I felt bad because I told my girl, the law had already passed, and I told my girl, and I was like, you have to take him to the bathroom because you can see my boobs. And if a man looks at me and even remotely sees it and doesn't want me in there.
How do you go to the bathroom like this?
No, I don't. But just hypothetically, Exactly. Like if it were to happen,
you have to always think like this.
I have to because they can. Because
you don't know. Yeah.
Like that's their right.
There,
now that's their right. They can call the police. I can be charged for the misdemeanor, get arrested, and go to jail.
But like,
and all I'm trying to do is take a piss.
Quick in and out, and you have to think
I
about
went
all
to the
that.
gym.
I think it definitely goes to show you guys, like, you definitely got to go out and bolt. Like, I mean, it's like, this is not a PSA or anything like that. Definitely, how important it is, because this is the kind of this is kind of laws that are being passed right now by the people that we actually voted to be to represent us, and this is kind of things that and this is what's going on. I mean,
before this bathroom bill was passed, I went to the men's bathroom, no problem. Didn't look around, didn't look at anybody, just pissed and walked out. I stopped using the women's restroom because even before I started identifying as a trans man, they didn't want me in there to begin with. So imagine me going in there now. I go there sometimes like when I'm in the gym.
Worse going to the women's bathroom.
Yeah, it's bad because women are like, am I in the wrong bathroom?
Yeah.
Why are you in here?
That's what I'm saying. Like
women are ignorant as fuck compared to men.
I think so. Even more.
Men don't give a fuck.
You don't.
They don't care. Like I walked in the bathroom, not one man has turned their head.
So I know because for you it's difficult because you're the one going through the situation, but maybe you're thinking a little bit too much. I think if you were an L house right now and you go to the men's bathroom, I don't think no one's
they wouldn't.
Nobody's thinking that.
No, I think the men's part is more on me.
I think if if it was more reversed, like like where Sanders when a guy is trying to be a female, I think it's going to be more. It's going to be more. I think in your aspect.
How much sense does that make too, right?
It doesn't.
Do you have a son or a daughter?
Son.
So let's just say, right, you and your son went in the bathroom to take a leak.
Yeah.
And then a trans woman came in there, but like fully transitioned, fully everything.
Yeah.
They're trying to prevent children from asking questions.
But yet you're causing it.
Yes, exactly. And that's like what I
and that was my train of thought also.
Yeah,
because that's I'm like,
how are you going to explain that?
Exactly.
Like, you're putting parents in an awkward situation.
And yet you pass this bill where
to protect them.
Exactly.
All about the kids. But what's even fucked up is how many kids have gotten cosmetic surgery outside of gender affirming care this year. It's not just gender affirming care. But if it's sexualizing a little boy or a little girl, it's totally fine. Right? But when it comes down to gender affirming care, we're trying to push some type. Quite frankly, I don't discuss my transition with any child. Even on YouTube. Like when little kids like comment on my girls, you a girl or a boy. I tell them I don't discuss my life decisions with children. Even with my girlfriend's son.
Oh yeah,
he literally thinks I'm a man.
Okay.
I don't discuss my transition with him. I don't.
He doesn't know.
No, I don't try to. None of that. You're a child. Go play with your toy. Why are you worried about what I have? You know what I'm saying? Call me whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. You're a child. Like, you know what I mean? You're learning. You're innocent. You don't mean no fucking harm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can definitely respect that because I mean that's just gonna grow more doubt into him.
Yes, exactly.
And I think it's just gonna make him more confused.
And I try to hide it, even when it comes because he literally thinks I'm a man. So even when it comes like me taking off my shirt. I try to even hide that because I don't want. Yeah,
you live with him too.
Yes, I think until what do you think it's a more appropriate age for him for you to open up? Because I mean, that's also
never.
You really 18, think so?
19.
You think so?
Like, I mean, not discuss this with him even if he's 13, 14, 15, 16.
When
you don't think so?
Yeah, when you're fully grown and your mind is developed, we can talk about it.
Okay.
But I don't think that you need to know what's going on in my adult life as a child. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you're looking at me as your father, then I'm your father. But you don't need to know how I became your father.
Right.
Now, if you want to know that I'm your stepfather, that's fine. But as for like me transitioning from female to male, you're not going to understand it anyway. So why am I even explaining it?
Yeah, I mean,
so
I think there comes an age where I think you can handle it a little bit more.
Well, you might
have to address it earlier. Do you know? Like, I'm new to like the whole parenting thing.
But I was gonna say you might have to address it a little earlier just because of social media. If
that's true.
If your girlfriend keeps doing her videos and all that, like,
that's actually very true.
Yeah, there's gonna be some explanation.
I just try to keep it away. Like, so he can enjoy his childhood,
Which I think, how old is he if you're my man?
5.
5? Oh, yeah. Right now it's definitely not.
He doesn't understand what I'm disciplining. Like,
right now he likes Power Rangers.
Yes, like, he's like, what?
He likes the red.
He likes Power Rangers today, and then tomorrow he might like the Turtles.
And that's what made me realize about children, and I told my girl that, I was like, this is what made, like, your son made me realize, like, children shouldn't be transitioning. One second they think they want a pink shirt, and the next thing they want a black one, or they want fucking orange. Like, who ain't fucking up? Their mind changes so much.
Constantly.
Yeah, like it.
Yeah.
Like, and another thing is like parents are so quick just because a child picks up a fucking army man or a fucking Barbie doll.
He's a man.
You trans?
Yeah.
What's going on? You okay? You need to take you to the doctor? You need hormones? What's happening?
Yeah.
Okay, you don't think your child's just experiment?
Yeah, I think. I mean, they don't know the difference. They're at that point, they just
like,
know it's a toy.
Yeah,
they don't know, and that's something that I was telling her the other day. Is she goes like, "Oh, like why don't you correct them?" My son's a year old.
Yeah.
Like, she was telling me like, Sandra was like, "Oh, why don't you tell him? Like, why don't you yell at him?" I'm like, because right now he's learning. Like right now, if I tell him,
I'm not as patient.
yeah,
I'm not that patient either.
I was telling her like he's learning. So if I stop him, then he doesn't want to learn anything else.
That's
if I try to correct him, then he's gonna be like, oh, I don't want to do anything else because I'm gonna get yelled at. I'm gonna get yelled at. I'm gonna do. So right now I'm like, hey, buddy, don't do that. You're gonna get hurt.
Yeah,
but I don't yell at. I don't yell at him. But I just like, hey, be careful with that. Come on, let's go play.
Because they only understand to like a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely get that, and it's the same thing with the transition. It's like, why am I explaining to a 3-year-old that I'm transitioning? You know,
what is it? Don't you feel like a sense of relief to be around him and he doesn't see you?
Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's innocent.
No, like it's literally like he
doesn't. I wish everybody was like that.
Yeah, no, literally, because he doesn't second guess. He doesn't think like he's never called me she. It's daddy and he him.
That's like what you always.
Mommy calls you daddy too, though.
Yeah. You ain't lying. Shut up. Damn, like Jesus Christ.
Damn it.
But it's like, yeah, like I would never explain it to him until like he's really at an age to understand his self and know who he is. Because I would never want to taint that for him, right? I would never want to plant a seed in his head and then him run with it. Because it's very easy as a child to do so. Like I go to him like, okay, Zayden, so I just want to let you know, I was a girl before I was your dad. He's gonna look at me like,
what?
Like, you know,
you just gotta open you just gotta open a can of worms.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he's gay and he wanted to be a girl, and it's like, that was my fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knows exactly.
Yeah, that's kind of rough.
Yeah, he knows exactly who he wants to be right now. He knows that he's a man. Like, even when it comes to like girls, that's for girls, daddy. I don't play with that. That's for girls, daddy.
He says that?
Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me to sit there and be like, tell him what I got going on as an adult, that would taint his image of growing up.
It's a hard time to.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Like that's why I asked you. Like, when do you think it's a more appropriate? Like, obviously, right now.
Maybe like when he's like in his.
Teens.
I said like 18, maybe like teens, like where he's actually. When he is in his teens and knows who he is for himself.
One thing that I was thinking here while I was driving is definitely like, you know, we were. You know, you had elementary school, which is 1st through 5th grade. You're learning so much. You're learning like how to socialize.
Really quick, do you feel like from when we were kids and like sex ed and stuff like that, do you feel like it's different than it is now?
Well, I don't know what it is now. Like, yo, I used to be like this was like 3rd grade. Like, Josh, you think this is like the Holocaust was? Cause like it took all the girls over there. We over here.
Not the Holocaust. I did have a class that was like about when I was like in maybe 10th grade. It was about STDs and stuff like that, and it was really cool.
Oh yeah, that. Yeah.
It was really cool because they teach everybody things that they didn't even
I like that show
about.
too. I mean not show, that class too, but I think they added my job that I have now. I've been working for 3 years. Before I started working there before my transition, right? When I started transitioning, everybody was fully on board, right? Everybody respects me. But I would never ask for everybody to start putting their pronouns in their fucking seat. It's like you're not that important. Like as long as you know who you are and your people that you genuinely care about know who you are, who gives a fuck about anything?
But they have like a sense of entitlement these days. Like
I think it's not. I mean, it's not only.
No, I'm not trying to be rude,
but it's just generation wise.
I mix
I don't think it's like a certain. Yeah, they feel like they have
transitional Gen Zs. That's a lot to handle.
Yeah, I feel like they feel
they want to shove it down your throat. You must respect me.
Yeah,
and I feel like they don't understand that.
And I think it's our generation who caused that. To be honest with you,
millennials.
Yeah, because to be honest with you,
we did walk around with that attitude. You have to.
It's not that. It's because our parents, like a lot of our parents, have brought us up a certain way, where it could be spanking or whatever the case may be, and we kind of like, oh, I'm gonna treat my kids like kings and queens,
right?
And we kind of set that mindset on them. So I
That's
want that
true as
respect.
fuck.
I want the same way my parents treated me. I am brought up to be a king or a queen, so I need to be treated that way.
Yeah, and you need to respect me.
But it's weird as like I'm doing these new hires, Gen Z new hires. It's weird because the way they are is very entitled.
Yeah, it's very
like. But it's
Gen Zs and millennials are very different.
They wanna scare like us, like it's like almost like they want us to be in our tippy toes. Like, oh my god, anything they can just like say, hey, they're being discriminated.
Transphobic.
Yeah, transphobic.
You're my fucking pronouns, bitch.
Nah, so but it. This year has been the most year that I've seen.
I've seen that a lot, like literally.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to say this, but I think also TikTok is kind of making it trendy, right?
That's not okay.
And no, it's not okay. And that's what pisses me off.
You really want.
It's not
a trend.
Yeah, and that's what I try to tell people.
Like I literally last week I went to the doctor's office and I was checking in, and that was one of the questions. How do you identify? He, she.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was one of the questions.
In there.
Okay. It was one of the questions, but. And I guess I think we're 2 hours in.
Yeah.
So let's wrap it up.
I really want to thank you.
Definitely thank you for coming.
No. You touched a lot of like really good points, and like I really want to thank you for being about it. You were excited.
I was pumped. I was like, yeah. But that's the thing I don't like is I don't believe that everybody needs to believe what I believe. Right? I just believe that you should respect another human being as you would want to be respected.
I think that's what everybody needs to take from this podcast right here. Like this episode is definitely respect everybody, appreciate everybody.
Even if you don't believe that I'm a man, just call me Josiah. You don't even have to call me he, she. And when people do it, I'm just like.
And I wanted to do this episode literally the word respect. Like just respect it. You don't have to agree with it. And if you're happily a biological man or biological woman and you're happy with that, that's good for you. But just respect that somebody wants to do something else with their life, and that's it.
And please understand that the transition is real. Like people don't understand that, even with female to male, male to females, that transition is very much.
No, definitely got a lot of respect. Thank you for coming by.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Catch this episode. Catch all the episodes. We're gonna load this up pretty soon. And hopefully we can have you again with another episode with your girl.
Yeah, my name.
But no, and you guys can talk about anything here. Like, your transition doesn't define you. Like
exactly.
I just wanted to use this opportunity to talk about it, but it doesn't always have to be about that. We could talk about other things.
Heck yeah. Oh yeah. We got a lot of things to talk about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
With that
being said, a lot of topics I feel like too.
Yeah. But thank you for joining everybody, and comment below only positive things. You could do feedback, but just don't be negative.
Yeah,
that's
for
it.
sure. We out.
Thank you.
Peace.